Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was a beaver named Astrid. Astrid the beaver lived in a lodge beside a stream where willow trees leaned over the water. The entrance to her lodge was hidden underwater, and inside there was a dry room above the waterline where she could sleep and rest. That was how a beaver liked things. Water outside, safety inside, and good mud holding it all together. When the sun lowered and the bright part of the day gave way to dusk, Astrid the beaver stirred, stretched, and began grooming her fur. She worked carefully, because beavers need clean fur to help keep them warm in cold water. She combed through it with her paws and teeth until it lay smooth and ready. "There," she said softly. "Now I am properly a beaver this day." Then she slipped down through the lodge entrance and out into the pond. Astrid swam low and quiet, with only her eyes, ears, and nose above the surface. Beavers are strong swimmers, and Astrid the beaver moved easily through the water with her webbed hind feet pushing behind her. Her broad tail trailed out straight, helping her steer as she crossed the pond. The pond had not always been there. Once, the stream had run faster through this place. The water had been shallower, and the bank had been harder to reach safely. But Astrid worked branch by branch, stick by stick, pawful by pawful, building a dam where the stream narrowed. Like real beavers, she had packed it with branches, mud, and plants until the rushing water slowed and spread. Over time, the stream had pooled into deeper water around her lodge. That evening, as on many evenings, Astrid the beaver began by checking the dam. She swam to the place where water pressed against the woven branches and climbed partly onto the wet sticks to inspect her work. Beavers do not build once and forget it. Water is always testing, and a good beaver is always checking. Astrid felt the current against her paws. She looked left. She looked right. Then she narrowed her eyes. A thin trickle of water slipped through a weak spot near the middle. "Oh no," she said. "You again?" She slid into the water at once and dove to the bottom. A moment later, she came up with a mouthful of mud. She slapped it onto the weak spot. Then she pushed in a short branch. Then another. Then more mud. The water still slipped through, though not as boldly as before. Astrid leaned close. "That's enough of that," she told it. Back down she went. This time she brought up a heavier stick and wedged it crosswise. She packed mud around it with both front paws, pressing and patting until the leak slowed to a damp little seep. Astrid the beaver sat back on her haunches and watched. The seep stopped. "Much better," she said. She stayed there another moment, just to be sure, then slid off the dam and paddled toward shore. A beaver's work is never only building. There is always food to gather too. Astrid climbed onto the muddy bank and waddled toward a young willow. This was one of her favorite trees. Beavers often choose willow, aspen, cottonwood, birch, and other trees with softer bark and wood. And Astrid was very pleased to live where willow grew in good supply. She rose on her hind feet, braced herself, and set her orange front teeth to the trunk. She chewed, and chewed, and chewed. Wood chips fell around her paws. Her teeth were strong and sharp. And like all beavers' teeth, they kept growing through her life. That was one reason beavers gnawed so much. The work wore their teeth down to a useful chiseled edge. Astrid the beaver did not think about any of this. She simply knew that trees did not trim themselves. At last, the willow gave a soft crack and tipped down through the grass. Astrid froze and listened. The stream moved. A frog called. A bird fluttered somewhere farther off. No danger came. "Good," said Astrid the beaver. She began trimming the fallen tree, cutting off smaller branches and dragging them toward the pond. Some would be food, some would be useful for repairs. That too was real beaver work. Bark, twigs, leaves, and the soft layer beneath the bark all made a good meal, and sturdy branches could always be used. Astrid took one leafy twig in her paws and nibbled the bark. "Also good," she said. She ate for a while, turning the branch neatly as she worked. Then she pushed several cuttings into the water and climbed in after them. Deep water made the job easier. That was one of the reasons beavers build dams in the first place. A pond lets them swim food and wood home instead of dragging everything over land. Astrid the beaver moved slowly now, guiding the branches with her chest and forepaws while her hind feet paddled behind. The pond held them all up. Across the darkening water she went, steady and sure. Halfway through the lodge, she heard a sudden crack from the reeds on the far bank. Astrid stopped. Another rustle followed. At once she lifted her tail and slapped it hard against the water. The sound jumped across the pond. That was a true beaver warning. When alarmed, a beaver may strike the water with its tail to warn others and startle whatever is near. Astrid the beaver did not wait to discover more. She dove beneath the surface and swam straight for deeper water. Underwater, the world grew dim and calm. Her ears and nostrils closed to keep water out. She angled herself toward the lodge and hovered near the underwater entrance, listening for movement above. Nothing followed. After a little while, Astrid rose until just her nose came out of the water. On the far bank stood a deer. The deer took a drink. Astrid blinked. The deer twitched one ear, then stepped away into the brush and disappeared. Astrid the beaver floated very still. "Oh," she said at last. She looked around the pond. No one appeared to be laughing, which was fortunate. "Well," she added, "that was still excellent safety." With that, she gathered her branches and continued on. A little extra caution had never harmed a beaver. By now, the light had grown softer, and the first cool feeling of evening settled over the pond. This was the time Astrid liked best. Beavers are often most active at dusk and through the night, and Astrid the beaver was no different. The world was more quiet then. The bright birds settled. The shadows lengthened. The pond belonged to soft sounds. The lap of water, the brush of reeds, the small knocks of sticks against one another. Astrid pulled her branches close to the lodge and tucked some beneath the water near the entrance. Beavers often store branches underwater, where cold water helps keep the bark and twigs from drying out. When winter comes, that food is close by. Beavers do not hibernate, so a good place to store their food matters. She made several trips that evening. One branch for eating, one branch for storing, one branch for patching a rough place along the lodge wall. Back and forth she went, from bank to pond, from pond to lodge, from lodge to dam, and back again. Nothing about it was hurried. Nothing about it was wasted. As the moon rose, the pond settled deeper into night. Frogs called from the shallows. An insect skimmed the surface. Somewhere in the reeds, something tiny moved and then stopped. The pond Astrid had helped shape held more than her lodge. Quiet water gives shelter to many living things. Fish find cover there. Frogs breed there. Birds feed there. Plants root and grow there. Astrid the beaver made a place where life could gather. Still, Astrid did not sit around feeling important. She had one more thing to check. She swam again to the dam. The repaired place held firm. Water pressed against the branches, then eased through only where it should. Behind the dam, the pond remained deep and calm. Astrid the beaver floated there for a long moment, looking over what the evening had become. The cut willow was stored. The weak place was patched. The lodge wall was sound. The water by the entrance was deep. Nothing grand had happened. No great shout had gone up in the valley. No one had announced that Astrid had done an especially fine job. But the pond was ready for night. Astrid turned and swam slowly home. She ducked beneath the surface, passed through the hidden entrance, and climbed into the dry chamber of the lodge. Inside, the air smelled of wood, mud, and clean fur. The walls around her were firm. The floor above the water was dry. Outside, the pond lay against the lodge in small, steady sounds. Astrid the beaver circled once, then twice. Then she settled down. For a little while she remained awake, listening. She could hear the soft push of water outside. She could feel the stillness that came even when everything needed for the night was in place. The branches were near. The dam held. The lodge stood firm around her. Astrid let out a slow breath. "Good," she whispered. And because nothing more needed to be done, the quietness answered for her. So Astrid closed her eyes and rested inside the home she built the way beavers build all good things. Not in one grand moment, but little by little, branch by branch, through patience, care, and the simple habit of returning each night to do what was needed. Outside the pond kept watch around her. Inside, Astrid slept, and held by deep water, strong walls, and all the small, faithful things that had been done in time. The night grew gentle and still, and the beaver lived happily ever after. The end. Beavers are large, semi-aquatic rodents that live in the northern hemisphere. There are two species of beavers: the North American beaver, or Castor canadensis, and the Eurasian beaver, or Castor fiber. Beavers are known as the second largest rodents after capybaras. Beavers are mammals, so they have fur, breathe air, and drink milk from their mother when they're babies. Beavers are rodents, which mean they are in the same big animal group as squirrels and mice. Beavers have thick fur that helps keep them warm in cold water. Their tail is wide, flat, and scaly, almost like a paddle. Their back feet are webbed, which helps them swim. Beavers have front teeth that are small and good for holding and carrying things. Beavers' teeth are orange, not because they're dirty, but because the enamel has iron in it. Their front teeth keep growing their whole lives, so they need to chew often. Their teeth wear into a sharp chisel shape that helps them cut wood. Beavers are the largest rodents in North America. A beaver can be about 4 feet long from nose to tail. Some beavers weigh around 35 to 65 pounds. Beavers live near fresh water like rivers, streams, ponds, and lakes. They spend time in water and on land, so they're called semi-aquatic animals. They like places with trees nearby because trees give them food and building supplies. North American beavers live in North America. Eurasian beavers live in parts of Europe and Asia. A beaver home is called a lodge. Beavers build lodges from sticks and mud. Many lodges have an entrance underwater, which helps keep the beavers safe. Inside of a lodge is above the waterline, so it can stay dry. Some lodges can be about 5 feet high. Beavers are famous for building dams. A dam is a wall built across moving water. Beavers use branches, sticks, mud, reeds, rocks, and plants to make dams. Dams slow the water down and help make a pond. Deep pond water helps beavers reach home more safely. Beavers do not just build once. They keep fixing and patching their dams. Beavers are one of the few animals that change their habitat in a big way. Beavers are herbivores, which means they eat plants. They eat bark, leaves, buds, twigs, stems, and water plants. They also like the soft layer under the bark. Some favorite tree foods are willow, aspen, birch, poplar, and maple. Beavers can hold food in their front paws while they eat. They can store branches underwater to eat later in winter. Beavers do not hibernate, so stored food is very important in cold months. Beavers are very good swimmers. They have big webbed back feet that help push them through the water. Their tail helps them steer. Beavers can stay underwater up to 15 minutes, though some sources say 6 to 8 minutes is common. They can swim up to about 5 miles per hour. In the water, beavers often keep just their eyes, ears, and nose above the surface so they can look and listen. Beavers are mostly active at night. They chew wood, carry branches, build, repair, eat, and groom their fur. Grooming helps keep their fur clean and water-resistant. Beavers are sometimes seen in daytime too, but night is their usual busy time. Beavers can warn each other about danger by slapping their tail on the water. The loud splash can also startle any animal nearby. Beavers also use scent to mark their area. Beavers often live in family groups. A family may include parents, babies, and older young beavers. Baby beavers are called kits. The older young beavers often help with building and caring for the younger kids. Beaver families protect their home area from other beaver families. Beaver dams can help slow water and reduce erosion. Beaver ponds can become homes for fish and other water animals. Frogs, turtles, ducks, geese, and many other animals may use wetlands made by beavers. Because they change the land and water around them, beavers are sometimes called ecosystem engineers. Beavers can move rocks as part of their building work. They are powerful animals, even though they may look round and gentle. Have you seen a real-life beaver before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye! If your child loves imaginative stories, I'd love to share my picture book, What Else Should I Eat? It's about a girl who's hungry and goes on a whimsical journey through a magical land of food, trying different kinds of food and exploring how they look, taste, feel, and smell. It's a fun way to show kids that eating different kinds of food can be exciting. The book is perfect for ages 3 to 6, and older kids enjoy it too. You can find What Else Should I Eat on Amazon and other online bookstores. Find all the details in the show notes.